The remake of System Shock is the most unfair game I've ever loved, and after playing it, there's a lot I wish I knew going in. So I made this list of things I wish I knew before playing, without spoiling anything, including progression spoilers. There's a manual. Just right-click on the game in Steam, click Manage, then browse local game files. System Shock doesn't tell you anything. There's no waypoints, there's no objectives. If you're stuck, usually scrolling through the map carefully will reveal one door that's still locked or one area that you didn't fully explore. And if that doesn't work, you most likely missed something in an audio log, so remember to listen to the audio logs as they're playing. It's easy to stop listening as you're picking up junk, but the menu to look through audio logs you've already heard is a mess and you'll never find what you're looking for. Because if there's key info in an audio log, the game doesn't bold it, it's not in an objectives list, you just have to know it. And there's no shame in consulting a walkthrough. Sometimes it's worth avoiding the headache. Speaking of walkthroughs, every code is randomized every playthrough, so you can't just get all the codes. Walkthroughs for System Shock will tell you how to find the code, not what the code is. So there's no cheating here. And usually if you see numbers on a screen, they're going to be needed later, so write them down. Especially if you see a number after you blow up the CPU nodes. You'll thank me later, trust me. I didn't even discover this one until after I was done playing, but one frustration with the game was the fact that it only lets me have 4 weapon slots, 3 grenade slots, and 3 power-up slots in the quick slots bar. I would have been much happier with 6 weapon slots, 2 grenade slots, and 2 power-up slots. Little did I know that you can actually change this with a setting in the accessibility menu. This should be the default. Swapping out weapons got really annoying late game. And you're gonna need those quick slots because entering the inventory screen or opening the map does not pause the game. It's by far the biggest reason I died so many times on my first playthrough. Enemies will spawn constantly in the first few levels. Clearing a room means nothing, trust me. On your weapon ammo indicator, if it's red, that usually means it's good on humans, and if it's blue, it's good on robots. You can and should blow up the radiation barrels. That will clear rooms of radiation. Also, I panicked anytime I entered a radiation room when I first played, but you learn that it's not that bad, especially near the beginning, and especially if you blow them up. Besides, on the first level, you can always go to the medical bay to heal up. Cyberspace can suck, and whenever you see big electricity, make sure you destroy that before fully entering a room. Usually the enemies wait until you've entered to spawn, and if you're at the end of a level, you can die and you'll still get whatever goodies you unlocked. You don't have to go back in. I can't tell you how many times I pushed T to save and then looked away and back and had no idea whether it saved or not. The time is wrong on my saves and it's all random numbers, so if you're saving, make sure to stare at the screen while you do it. And also, you get unlimited saves, so it's okay if you make the occasional double save. Don't play with a controller. Unless a new version comes out that improves controller support, it sucks. Any game where the controller moves a mouse pointer around instead of just cycling through inventory slots and menu prompts needs to get a swift kick in the head, and that includes this one. Navigating the inventory is so tedious it discourages you from using it. The cyberspace sequences are close to impossible. I couldn't figure out how to scroll around the map, which is very important. Luckily, with keyboard and mouse, it's great. Speaking of the controls, map the tab key to the map and apostrophe to inventory. I'm so used to using tab for map, it was a big help, and apostrophe is right there too. Also, I would turn off reload uses battery. It can be helpful, but more often than not, my reflexes forgot I was on an almost full energy weapon and I wasted a battery. And the combat in this game includes a lot of waiting for an enemy to stop shooting, peeking out and shooting back, then waiting again. So using Q and E to peek are big helps. Speaking of energy, those electrons remain precious throughout the game, so if something drains your energy while it's on, remember to turn it off when you don't need it anymore. Oftentimes using an energy weapon is more useful than, for instance, using the flashlight. I never use the flashlight. Pick up all the junk. If you can't fit anything else, vaporize until you can. It's more worth it to take what's there than to run back and forth to a recycler, even if the value would be slightly higher. Pick up guns even if you already have them. You can empty the gun of its ammo, then drop it, and oftentimes it's full of it. And if you drop an item, it will stay there forever. Use this to your advantage because you will pick up too many items. Speaking of dropping items, you can safely drop the power-ups. I don't think I used them even once. And if you drop an item, use the marker feature on your map so you can remember where it is. Oh, and don't vaporize the ATM cards on the executive level. That was a sad lesson. And no, that's not your graphics card. The textures are supposed to look like that. Hope that helps. I was obsessed with this game and I hope you will be too. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed this content and would like more of it. I'm Daniel Paul. See you next time.
You have my thanks.
Insects, I have regained full control
Of Citadel Station, and will be here when you awake from cryostasis.